Hi, everybody. It is our time for our all-out massive action call. And I love to start with the music, and I'll just do a little bit of it just to set the mood. Okay, everybody, just a little intro to get the feeling of massive, massive action. And of course, this call, I'm so honored to be your host. This is Sandi Cohen, and we do these now every Wednesday night, and this is not for the faint of heart. This is only for people that are really, 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 really serious about a change that they're looking for. And we're a community. We're a like-minded community where we are masterminding. We're holding each other's hands to be able to accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish. So just in the chat room, let me know that you can hear me, because Alexis is saying she can't hear anything. So, okay, Alexis, maybe you need to call in on the audio option. Okay, she's good to go. Thank you, Alexis, for letting us know you are fine. So really, what is this all about? And a couple weeks ago, I was spending some time with my dear friend Eileen Cohen, whose husband just recently passed away. And, you know, it really is incredible, the power of the Zango products. Herb was diagnosed 12 years ago. And the oncologist, the specialist said, you know, maybe 2 years. So, you know, travel, do whatever you want to do, whatever's on your bucket list. And the 2 years came and went. And then the doctors said, well, you know, what the type of condition that he has, and it's like 15 letters in it. I can't even repeat it, but it will go into acute leukemia, which is often a death sentence. Well, the reality is Herb never went into acute leukemia, and he was with us for a total of 12 years, 10 more extended years. So we've got something very, very special here. But she and I were talking about, yes, we're blessed. We take all of the Zango products because they've changed our health. They've changed the health of so many others that we care about. But for those of you who are serious about building a business, she and I started brainstorming, a mastermind, if you will. And at that moment, it was only the two of us saying, what can we do to help people end this year strong, to end 2015 strong? Because what we do within the next, maybe 7 weeks, will absolutely determine where your business is going to be in 2016. So you have to make a choice. You know, there's two choices. You can build your business slow, or you can build your business fast. Which would you prefer, slow or fast? Well, hopefully, if you're on this call, it's because you want to build fast, but you want to build it correctly, doing the right activities. And I am the forever student, and I'm always about, does everybody know what CANI stands for? CANI. Do you know what that stands for? And if you don't, it should be your mantra. And it stands for constant and never-ending improvement. Why? Because if you're not growing, you're doing the opposite. So no matter whether you're a no K or you're a 50K or you're a 500K, growth and personal development should never stop. And, you know, we were talking about professionals like real estate agents, pharmacists, teachers, etc. We all have to, who are licensed professionals, must go on for continuing education. And that's where we excel, because we are so committed to both your personal and professional growth. And one of my favorite masters, of course, I have so many, but Anthony Robbins. And I am determined on my bucket list for next year to attend a Tony Robbins live event. And I've honestly avoided going. And do you have any idea why I have avoided, my brain avoids going to a Tony Robbins event? Any idea why? Obviously, I'm not afraid of hard work. I'm not afraid of discipline. I'm not afraid of making decisions. Do you know why my brain has avoided me from going to a Tony Robbins event? No, I'm going to tell you. I'm scared to walk on fire, on hot coals. I mean, I am really, really terrified. But from what I understand, tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people have done it, and they've all survived. They didn't end up in the hospital. So I guess next year I'm going to go to a Tony Robbins event, and hopefully some of you will decide to go with me. But, you know, what you need to determine is identifying the difference between being in motion, or what we call saddling up, getting ready, or actually taking action. And in motion or saddling up could be being on this call, could be listening to audios, could be reading. What you have to embrace is the type of income-producing activities that actually count towards your growth financially. So really, really important to identify, are you in motion or are you actually taking action, doing the correct activities that are income producing? And I saw this, and I had to share this with you because I thought it was pretty funny. So, I mean, I've been a yo-yo dieter all my life. And what you should be doing is treat income-producing activities like you're extremely overweight. You're actually obese. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a man. It could be a woman, and you are on your way to the pastry shop. So I know I'm addicted to sweets as well. And if I'm on a quest to go get a Dunkin' Donuts corn muffin, which I think is the best on the planet, or a piece of cheesecake at the Cheesecake Factory, nothing is going to get in my way. So what you have to do is have the mindset that the income-producing activities are what's critical for you to move forward to your next level in the business. And the truth is, this goes for traditional business as well. It's not just for what we do in network marketing, because income-producing activities create what? Create what, guys? What does it create? Creates results. Creates more money. Is that what we want? Do we want more money and more results? Absolutely. So what are some of the income-producing activities? Put some in the chat room. What do you think? Remember, this is supposed to be interactive, guys. What do you think could be, Vivian wins the prize. Vivian wins the prize. because it's who talks to the most people that wins. But what else? What else other than talking? Alexis, following up. Oh, my goodness. The majority of people absolutely fail. And somebody's not on the mute buttons. I can hear people moving around. So please check your phone if you're on the speaker line because it's interfering with the recording. Thank you so much. Following up, Alexis. Oh, my goodness. And that's why, quite honestly, what Zango has given us as far as apps are concerned on our mobile device is critically important for that follow-up procedure. What else? What else is an income-producing activity? What else, guys? Come on. All right, I'm going to cheat and show you some. Sharing the business or the products with people who are looking for shortcuts to better health or shortcuts to better finances every single day. Do you remember what MDC stands for? Who knows what MDC stands for? At least I love it. Get out of your comfort zone. Yes, until you get uncomfortable, you're not growing. Until you're doing activities that make you feel, oh, my goodness, I'm really, really stepping out of my comfort zone. Marilyn, yes. Vivian, yes. Minimum daily contacts. And I think I shared with you the story. We were at a Zango conference, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And, you know, when you go to the big ones, the international conferences, they give you these ribbons to put on your badges. And the top ribbon was green, and it said MDC. And I sat down to one of my leaders, and I said, Carol, how do they know what my minimum daily contacts are? Are they listening in on my calls? Do they have my phone tag? How could they give me a ribbon for the amount of MDCs that I do? And she started laughing out loud, and she said, quote, unquote, you idiot. She called me an idiot. She said, you idiot? She says, that's not minimum daily contacts. That's $1 Million Club. MDC also stands for $1 Million Club. So if you aspire to be in the $1 Million Club, what do you have to do? Your MDCs every day. And don't be afraid to ask for referrals. So many people are hesitant to say, well, who do you know that might be open to better health or better finances? Setting appointments. Oh, my goodness. That is something that we all have to get better at all the time. What about three-way calls? It's so critical that you make your upline partners work. Because the truth is, guys, they're going to get paid whether you make them work or not. So make them work. Placing your orders, not only just for yourself, but for your customers. And enrolling new team members, both customers and distributors. Because those of us that are on this call that have been in Zango for a while, we didn't have a customer program the first generation, the first series of success stories. But we sure as heck have it now. And we have an amazing customer program where they earn gift certificates, where they earn nothing beats free. And this is without actually becoming a distributor. So really important to know that. And I had a situation happen last night. There was a three-way call scheduled. I believe it was at 6 o'clock. And normally I will not schedule a call that conflicts with another call, but this was the only time the prospect was available. And we did the three-way call, and my personally sponsored said, oh, no, we don't need to do a three-way call. She just wants to order Aries. I said, that's okay. That's okay. She might have some questions. So we did the three-way call, and it turns out, based on the relationship, and this woman is actually older than me, and there aren't many people in Zango that are older than me. But she is just amazing. She's a true ageless advocate. And based on what her friend was telling her, she wanted to order Aries, but she hadn't looked at the website. She didn't look at any information. Just based on that relationship, she was going to place an order. So we started talking about what products she uses, and oh my goodness, what I just found out was that she's been using some really, 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 really bad stuff for a long time. But my prospect had to jump off after 30 minutes because she had company at her house. So this woman and I continued our conversation for another hour. I mean, I found out about how she met her husband. They were both married for decades to other people. I mean, I found out everything about this woman. And at the end of our conversation, her opening order was over $500. So the point of this, there is power in the three-way call. There is power using your upline mentors because they have been committed to CANI, constant and never-ending improvement forever. And that way you increase your closing ratio. You also earn as you're learning. And if you're not doing at least 2, 3, 4, 5 three-ways a week, especially if you are brand new, oh my goodness, you are missing out on something that is so powerful. But it also demonstrates either to your customer or to your business partner. Just remember, in the $1 Million Club, over 140 members, of which 30% started out as customers. So we value our customers. And when these three-way calls happen, of course, you mute yourself out. You do not contribute one single word unless your upline mentor asks you a question. And just listen and learn. So what I created here before we bring on our co-host is an activity point tracker, because I myself also keep track in a reasonable amount of way, because I have on my mobile device, I happen to have an iPhone that has a calendar. How many on the call have a mobile device that also has a calendar that you can schedule activities, that you can schedule a three-way call, you can schedule a follow-up call, you can schedule the events as they're coming up? Okay, so do you remember the old days? I call the old days, when we used to use Franklin Covey planners, those beautiful leather planners, where we used to schlep them around. Some of them were big, some of them were small. Now we all have these wonderful mobile devices where we don't have to carry all that stuff around. So no excuse. Your calendar, you should be able to take a screenshot of your calendar. Now, I can only tell you how to do this on an iPhone. I don't know how to do it on an Android. So if anybody's on the call that doesn't have an iPhone, all I do is when I have the calendar up, I push the home button along with, I don't know what this button on the right is called, but I click it. I don't even know what it's called. Does anybody on the call know what that button on the right is? But I hit the home button and that right button, I just push them both in at the same time, and you'll hear snap, and it takes a screenshot. And I'd love for you guys to share your screenshot, the power button. Thank you, Frank. Okay. So just post it in our Facebook group so you can be so proud of what you're doing. So here's what we're going to do. And I haven't figured out the prizes yet because I just did this actually this morning. I came up with this brilliant idea that came up while I was sleeping last night. And I said, okay, I've got to create a point tracking system, and we're going to have prizes. We're going to have prizes at the end of the month. Who has the most points? So who's all in? Who wants to try to win a prize? Yes? No? Yes? Okay. Okay, I'm in. All right, love it. All in. All right. So here's how we're going to earn points. You have 1 point for a person that you've had a new conversation with. But you also get a point for someone you followed up with. You also get a point for sending information. Now, most of you know, we're co-founders of the Zango University, and I'll tell you, I wear those links out because everything that's back there is very often my choice to send to a prospect, from product education to prospecting tools to the Masters of Motivation, the media accolades, all of that is there. So you get a point every time you send information, and that information could be sent by email, by text, and heaven forbid you're sending info by snail mail. Priority expense is about, $3 and something. Then you've got to put stuff in there when it's absolutely free to use technology. But look what happens when you do a three-way call. And the outcome does not matter on that three-way call. The point is that you are doing a three-way call, hopefully more than once a week. You get 2 points for that. And, of course, you get an additional 3 points when you bring on board either a new customer or a new business partner. Does that sound pretty cool, guys? I'm really excited about this because this will actually track your income-producing activities. Okay, does this make sense? Because you're either in motion or you're actively involved in increasing your business. And Vivian's asking, who do you do the three-way call with? Well, I would not suggest doing it with a no K. I wouldn't suggest doing it with a 1K. Now, who do you think would be the best to do a three-way call with? For the best results, who do you think? Come on, guys, let me see in the chat room. Who do you think would be best to do a three-way call with? Okay, yeah, 500K. Anybody that's probably at least a 20K, a premier, 100K, 200K, 500K. But you really go to your closest leader. So, when you look at your genealogy, and if you're not sure, just ask your upline, who is my closest premier, active premier? Who is my closest 100K? Who is my closest 200K? Okay? So it's really, really important to also know your family tree in Zango. And if you don't know, shame on you, but you need, because when you go into your Zango back office, remember you only see 3 of your immediate upline. So it's important to go to those 3 and say, well, who are your 3? And who are your 3? Unless you know who the next 100, 200, or 500K is, and then they could help you find out who is the closest to you. So I'm glad we're getting my portion covered, but now I'm so excited because we have some people that are going to share, and hopefully they're on the speaker line. And I think it's important for you to realize that there's so many components to being successful. Now, how do you know what to say? How do you learn to know what to say? And we did some training. We almost did it maybe for, Mark, a year and a half with Michael Oliver. And he's one of my favorite people. And he calls his whole program, which is natural selling. And if you do it correctly, if in the conversation, getting to know each other part of building that rapport, building that relationship, there's never a time when you have to do overcoming objections, because all the objections are being covered in your conversation and your dialogue, even to the point where, you've heard, I have to ask my spouse, or I don't have the money, or I don't have the time. Well, in my dialogue, based on what I've learned, I say, you're already so busy right now. You are time-starved. If you like what you see, where in the world are you going to find the time to devote to building your Zango business? So I ask that right up front. I also ask right up front, you have a spouse. curious, do you make the decisions, or is it a joint decision as to whether you move forward if you like what you see? Because why jump through all the hurdles and email all this stuff out if in fact you're not talking to the decision maker? And very often, especially guys, no offense guys, but very often, the guy says, oh, no, it's me. I'm the decision maker. If I like it, I'm going to move forward. So we talk about time. We talk about money. Really, really important. So I think Molly, who is brand new, I hope she called in on the speaker line. So Molly, raise your hand and say, I'm here if you're on the speaker code, because I know you've been taking some of Michael Oliver's training, and we've actually done quite a few three-way calls. And when I do a three-way call, and I would suggest this when you do a three-way call with your upline, whoever that may be, you download on your mobile device a free recording app. It's absolutely free. And ask permission of your mentor. Is it okay if I record the call? Because you're not going to be able to type fast enough if there are certain pearls that they said. So I always suggest record the call, because that way you can go back and listen to it later. So Molly, are you with me on the speaker line?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
There we go. What a great new student we've got. And everybody say welcome, Molly and Frank. They are brand new into Zango. They've joined our family and just became distributors literally in the last few days. So, Molly, share with us, because, you've dabbled in network marketing on and off, and never really had the success you deserve. So share with the listeners, what are you getting out of what you're learning so far, taking all out massive action right from day one?
Well, I have to say, first of all, I think Michael Oliver has changed everything for me. I've been in sales my whole life. I grew up in the business with my family, and so when I stepped into network marketing, I did what everyone tells you to do. You tell everyone your story, you share your story, and you really you're persuading people, and you're trying to get the closing, and then you want to handle objections, because that's what I had learned in my regular selling life. And when I listened to Michael Oliver, I felt like this was my huge aha moment, and I literally changed how I worked in my business and my daily job, and how I started having conversations with people. I'm really excited about. There's so much information that he shares. It's really changed my feeling about having conversations, and so part of what I learned was if you can't sell anything if you don't know what the person needs. How can I possibly share anything with them, even if we have the best product in the world, if I don't know what their needs are? And so instead of me telling right off the bat, I can actually get to know them by asking them questions, writing down everything that they say, so that if I need to go back, I can say specifically, you mentioned, or I can talk to them about, can you clarify this for me? When you said this, what did you mean by that? I'm really getting to know them and letting go of that end result, letting go of the sale, which when you are in selling as a regular traditional business, your end result is make the sale. And in this, you're letting go, and you're far more successful, because in this active listening process and getting to know that person, you're not talking about yourself or your product. You're talking about them and allowing them to come to the solution. And so you truly are coming from a place of service, and it just changes all of that weird stuff we come with when we start to have a conversation, because we already know, I'm going to talk about this, and how are they going to take it, and they're going to shut me down maybe, because how many people do we know that we've approached about with our network marketing or about whatever it is we are selling in our daily lives, We have a traditional job that's involved selling, and it changed everything for me, Sandy. And I can't thank you enough for introducing me to this approach, because I bought Michael's book, How to Sell Network Marketing Without Fear, Anxiety, and Losing Your Friends. And I just feel like every page is like a nugget of information. And it's just really, it has really impacted me in so many ways. And I think that because when I was doing other network marketing, Frank and I were always trying to find, well, what do we say? And what do we do? What do we say? How do we say it? What are we trying to do? And it really wasn't about that. It was really about how do we make a connection with someone. And everyone says, oh, friends first. And I think Michael Oliver says this really great thing about if you want to go fast, go slow, meaning getting to know them doesn't mean that you're going to take 7 months to have them become a customer or join you as a partner versus a prospect. It's just about, you're just approaching it from just a more human and lovely way. I think it's just it makes it more fun and enjoyable because we all want to help. And when we come from a place of sales, it doesn't feel like that. And the person you're hunting, it's what it feels like. And they know it. They can smell it. And when you come from a place of service and you really genuinely are wanting to know more about them before you even talk about how you may be able to help, everyone's at a calmer level, more receptive and more open. So those are some, I could go on all night about this guy. I feel like I want to be best friends with him, Sandy.
Yeah. I found the same thing. I met Michael actually 16 years ago. And like so many of you who might feel the same way. In other words, what do you say to people? How do you start a conversation? And it was such an aha moment for me as well, Molly, and that's why, I don't get paid anything when you buy Michael's stuff. I get a reward when you implement what he teaches because you are enrolling people as friends, you're being of service, and some of those become business partners. So it's really all about becoming the best that you can be. And Michael's teaching is not easy. It really isn't. But after repetition, just like when you learn the multiplication tables when you were a kid, when you get to a point, I had this happen just last week where I connected with someone. You all know I do a lot on Facebook. And and I use Michael's teaching not just when I speak, but when I type. So it's the same thing on Facebook. I'm meeting someone for the first time. I'm building up the relationship. I'm trying to build up the trust. And within I think it was 2 girls within 24 hours, after back and forth, because we were both online, they were both open to a live conversation. And one of the girls, and she might even be on the call tonight because I invited her, she was crying. Crying that she was so excited that we had connected because we had so much in common because I asked the right questions. We never even got to talk about the product. It was about where she was, where was her pain, and where does she want to be in the next 2 to 4 years. So like you said, Molly, it's that feeling, that connection, that you become friends with these people. And they're not dollar signs on their forehead. They're about helping them get to a better place, whatever that place might be. And we're not hunters with a bow and arrow or a shotgun. We're really more about warm and fuzzy. We want to be your friend first and then business partner second. So that's why I'm so big on sharing with you things that help me grow. And if this connection that I'm sharing with you, you think is not appropriate or not correct, then just don't join us on these calls. But I have to follow my heart. I have to follow my passion. And darn it, my passion is that no one fails. And there is no reason that you should fail if you're learning both personally and professionally. So, Molly, thank you. I'm so glad as a newbie, on your way to 1K, that you're going to embrace what you know is possible so that you too can live your dream. So thank you for sharing that as well. Now, I've also got, I think, Bill Hankey. In fact, Bill, I'm going to see you not tomorrow. Tomorrow we fly. Oh, so it'll be, what day is it? What, Thursday? So we are, Friday at Tango headquarters. I can't remember. Eddie had to walk in and tell me what day it is. So we'll see you on Friday at the Zango Business Academy, the XBA. So really excited. And I know we've met in the past, but we've met in the past in a convention setting. So, but now we're going to be connected. I mean, really connected, because we're part of the all-out massive action plan, and we're going to be at XBA together. So share with other masterminds here, what you're getting so far, because I think you've just recently joined our group, correct?
Yes, I have. And what I have learned, okay, can you hear me okay?
Perfectly. Thank you, Bill.
Okay. All right. Well, number one, Sandi, thank you so much for allowing me the privilege of being able to be on tonight. I really do appreciate it. One of the things that you had a couple of nights ago that I took a look at was somebody named Eric Worre. And what he said, because I tell people many times, I said if there was supposed to be a picture of a network marketing junkie, my picture would be in the dictionary right next to it, because I've been in so many different network marketing companies. I've been with Zango now 10 years, and I'll never leave. Many reasons behind that, but it never really clicked, and I've had many people that have talked to me before. But Eric Worre, which is one of the people that you have talked to us about, had another video out there called the 90-Day Game Plan, and I highly, highly suggest that anybody who's not watched it, go and watch it, because it's right where you're at right now, between now and the first of the year. Because what you're in right now, if you don't know it or not, you're in pre-launch. Because the first of the year, you're going to have so many people on your team that's going to be working for you. So you need to be in pre-launch, and that's what I decided. That's what I emailed Sandi a few nights ago and said, we're in pre-launch. We're in pre-launch for one of the biggest massive actions that's ever taken place in Dallas and Fort Worth. And we have a plan. We've put it together, and I was looking at it tonight on an Excel spreadsheet, and it boggles my mind. What I've put out on my Facebook page on hashtag Team Live Your Dream page, it's nothing compared to that. It is so far above it, it boggles my mind. But Eric has said several things. He said you need to go into pre-launch, and the longer the pre-launch, because as you tell people what you're going to do, and you let them know this is what's going to happen. Now I want you to be part of my inner circle that's going to help us bring this about. And I've been using that for the last 2 or 3 days with people that I have had in my business before, and with people who have just joined. And they're saying, I'm in. Just count me in. Let's get together. Let's talk. This pre-launch, what you're going to do, and you have to have it detailed. It has to be detailed. It has to be thought out, and you have to be able to tell these people exactly what you plan on doing. And so that's what we've done. He also goes into you have to have exactly what you were talking about, all-out massive action. And he said for a full-time person in network marketing, that's 16 hours a day. That's waking up at 8 o'clock in the morning and working till midnight. And he said for those that are part-time, it's 8 hours a day, and that's 6 days a week. He said you have to just let your family know that this is what you're going to do, and that's during your 90-day launch that you're going to be doing. And you have to put people into your inner circle. The more people you put into your inner circle when you launch on the day that you're going to launch with, we're going to launch January 2nd, and it's going to go all the way to April the 4th. And the reason it's going to go to April the 4th is because that's my 60th birthday. And my wife and I are going to be able to do things in this town that we've never been able to do, and we're going to literally be able to help so many people live and become what they need to become. And we are just so excited. But if you listen to this 90-day game plan that he has, and it's out there on YouTube, just go out, look for it. I think you even put a link on your Facebook page about it. It is absolutely mind-freeing. I'm not going to say mind-boggling, but it's mind-freeing, Sandi. I can't say enough about it. And I do this while I am exercising. One of the things that you said tonight was if you decided that you were going to lose weight, and it's one of the things I've learned is I was thinking to myself, I said, if I attacked my business the way I lost weight in 2012, there'd be nothing stopping me. And the only person that's been stopping me is myself.
Yep. Thank you for sharing, Bill, and I'm so looking forward to seeing you on Friday. But just to go over a little bit, it's sometimes very difficult to have outside masters because very often, and now we're an elite group here, I can do tough love, right? I have permission to do that and share with you some of the insider secrets, if you will, or what goes on behind closed doors. But the reality is many people who teach on stage, who get buku bucks to do that, have never built a team. Because what we do is rare. I mean, and some of us who have done it more than once, over and over and over again, is extremely rare. So what some of these experts do, they use the stage as a platform for recruiting because it's a whole lot easier to teach than it is to do. And that's how they get their leads. Now, Eric Worre, at least for now, is not one of those kinds of guys. In fact, I've been avoiding him for years because I was very protective of my organization. And I didn't want them exposed to vultures, if you will. And it was funny that last year was my first Eric Worre event that I attended in Las Vegas. And I'm sitting there, and there's maybe just one or two people from Zango in the room that were on our team, that also leaders that went. And he said something from stage, and it was like he was talking to me. He says, I know who you are out there. Some of you are big shot leaders in your company, and you're just here to see if I'm real. You're here to see if I'm going to try to recruit your team into a different deal. And it was like, okay, he's telling it like it is. And, of course, he's making so much money teaching and training that he doesn't have to poach into someone's organization for his current deal. And as far as I know, his wife's not in a deal either, because so many of them that are married are in different programs. But what I found is that his fundamental basics make so much sense. And the truth is, the leaders in Zango are also talented. I mean, just look at the faculty in Zango University. But we don't have the time to spend an hour or 2 hours with you every single day to teach you what you need as far as personal and professional skills are concerned. So as Bill did, he went online and based on my post in our group, and he found certain things, and I'm going to keep contributing what I think is value to your personal growth. But I got to tell you guys, tough love again. You see that activity point tracker on the screen? That's the real deal. That's what's going to give you the results. So in spite of you still in the learning curve, don't get caught in the saddling up phase. You know, you're getting ready. You're organizing your office. You're organizing your files. You're practicing with MyZango Builder and the AMP app, but you're not doing the income-producing activities. And I'm going to say this over and over again. You have to get points on your tracker, or your business will never grow no matter what skills you learn, because you're not applying the skills. Now, hopefully you all have Think and Grow Rich. Say yes in the chat room. Do you all have the book, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich? My suggestion is, and I do this every year I reread it. My copy is so old and so yellowed and so written on, but if you remember, what does Napoleon Hill say about knowledge? It's not knowledge that will give you success. What is it that will give you success? Who knows? Put it in the chat room. It's applied knowledge. It's applied skills. Yes, Jean Marie, it's action. So please, 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 it's in the university. It's a free PDF online as well. Just go ahead, get the book, and make a commitment, maybe, over Christmas, in between overeating and opening presents, you'll take some time and reread Think and Grow Rich. In fact, I have a post I'll probably make over the next few days, and I thought it was just interesting. They took a survey, and I don't remember who did the survey, as when people and where people read the most. So when I post it, I'm right in there with the statistics as to where I read and most often. And like you, Bill, I try to go to the gym at least 5 days a week, and my cardio on the bike is often my reading time, because there's a book rack on the bike, and I can read while I'm having a hard cardio workout. But that inner circle, I've been using that more so than in the past. And it works every single time. So if you have not listened to that audio, trust me, you're missing something. So thank you, Bill, for stepping up and sharing. Okay, we've got just 10 minutes left, so I'm going to turn over 5 minutes to Joe and 5 minutes to Mark. Can you talk East Coast fast, guys? Who would like to go first, Joe or Mark?
Here's Joe. I
Okay,
can
Joe.
talk really fast.
Okay.
This is.
Go ahead.
I want to thank you, Sandy. This whole thing is what I needed. You know this very well, if anybody does. I love the company. I love the product. Action and getting past a lot of mental limitations that I've set on myself is one of the things that I'm finding that this activity has helped me to overcome. And all of the postings, all of it's really great. It's kind of resetting how I see and understand that what I need to do. And I can get myself boggled down in the busyness of dizziness with application, my builder, whatever. I'm so glad you mentioned that, and that's true. I can just get myself lost and feel like I'm getting things done, and that's not it. I have no problem talking to people, and Michael Oliver helps me where I'm weak, and that is to listen. And that's essential as far as doing what I've always loved, and that's helping people. And that's important. It takes a lot of weight off of me. I don't have to think so hard about what I'm going to say and, if I say this, how they're going to react. I can overthink things. And so, I can get all in my head. So, I appreciate the reminder, because we did go over Michael Oliver, and to get that into the basics of that service, which I love to do. I love helping people and finding out what it is that we have to offer. Real quick, I know I don't have much time, but I did touch base with someone that I was nervous about contacting, and she was on my list of 10 in action. And it took a while for me to get in touch with her. She's a registered nurse. And come to find out, she's into all kind of natural healing things. And even though she's not interested in the product at this point, we've come to an agreement that, if she has someone that she can't help, she'll refer them to me and vice versa. And I thought, wow, that's really great because, that's what we're here for, to help people, to heal them, to help them feel better in one way or the other. And this business has all of the things, including the money to help with your bank account and to help with your health. So it's all encompassing. And I'm just grateful to have the time with everyone here.
Well, thank you so much, Joe, for sharing. It's interesting, and I think this is what most of you will learn, is that we are not selling anything. We're not telling people really anything. And I always use the analogy of Columbo. Remember Columbo, the detective? Well, let me ask you this, and let me see if I understand that. We are Columbo. And if you follow the not worrying about making a sale, but instead of being of service, it's a whole different outcome. And you don't worry about making the sale, because if they have half a brain and they want shortcuts to better health, or they want more money, no matter how much money they have, then they're going to talk themselves into why they need to join you and become part of your inner circle if you're serious about change financially, but also about just living longer, healthier. And I always ask, would you agree? I always say, would you agree? Nothing is more important than living longer, healthier. I mean, I've only had one person in over a year that said, no, being happy was her answer. I said, well, if you were not well, how could you be happy? I mean, it was a stupid response on her part. So anyway, and Bill asked for the activity tracker to be put back up on the screen. I did, but I posted it in our Facebook group. So what I'm doing there when I'm doing the assignments, I'm pinning the assignment. So you have to go down under the pinned assignment to find it. And if you can't find it, just post that you can't find it in that Facebook group, and then I can repost it again. But I think this would be a great, I'm going to call it APT, Activity Point Tracker, to use with your team. When people say, they want to do accountability calls, well, give me a break, and obviously these are the only things should be counted. And Marilyn's so cute. She's asking me, how do I take notes on the bike? Believe it or not, I have a magic marker and my eyeglasses, obviously, and as I'm reading, I underline. So I don't take notes from the book. I underline. That's why my books are sort of raggedy and there's stars and there's all kinds of circles everywhere. So we've got one more dear friend. Mark, are you there? You got 4 minutes, my friend. Over to you.
I'm here. 4 minutes is probably right because I'm not sure what I'm going to say. But this has been a really, it's been expanding my mind tremendously. I've really got to get more into the Michael Oliver stuff because it is a different thing. I've had some experience using it with folks, and you got to practice it, and get it under the belt. And it's been good for as far as I've gone with it, and I'll hit a point where, what do I do now? Back into the book. So that's really been useful, and the videos have been terrific. His point that you're not there to talk, you're there to listen. That just turns everything around. It's really fantastic. The Eric Worre stuff has been just a huge eye opener for me, because I've seen some other people go through some campaigns, and I just in my history, so people follow along. Now I understand how those campaigns were crafted. What the basis is, and I understand why some things are part of the campaign and why some things aren't part of the campaign. The thing I'll leave you about Eric Worre, I discovered him, I'm not sure, maybe on a YouTube, something about a year and a half ago, and it was a short thing he did about what's the difference between a network marketing pro and a network marketing amateur, and he said the difference is that the amateurs take 3 no's and quit, right? Or whether they resign or whether they just sit there and do nothing, right? But the pros are the ones who are willing to take all the no's and move on anyway, because that's what it is. You get a bunch of no's, you get a few yeses, and the pros are willing to keep going and find who are the yeses, who wants to work, who wants to lock arms and go help a bunch of people. So there you go.
It's interesting, Mark, that you should bring that up, and I think it's a critical point, because most people that come into network marketing have had a job. They've got a job description. They're supposed to show up at 9 o'clock in the morning. They show up exactly at 9, not 1 minute earlier. When it's time to leave, it's 5 o'clock. Their desk is already cleared 5 minutes before 5. It's straightened out. Their briefcase is packed. And 5 o'clock on the button, they're out the door. They have that employee mentality. And that's what sets you guys apart from success. That's why you're going to be successful in network marketing. First of all, you chose the right company. I mean, that's huge, guys. Trust me, because I examined them all. According to the Direct Selling Association, the DSA, 7 out of 10 people will quit within their first 90 days. So if you know that up front, why in the world do we go on an emotional roller coaster if someone goes into the WPP? What's the WPP, guys? I've talked about this before. What's the WPP? Anybody remember? It's the Witness Protection Program. They're gone. They don't answer text messages. They don't answer their phone. They don't respond to email. It's the Witness Protection Program. So if you know that going in, that maybe, just maybe, the majority of people that join, hopefully, will stay on the products. That's what you hope. But if not, just remember, like Mark said, you are a network marketing professional, and you're not going to quit no matter how many others quit, because to get to Premier, which is 50,000 in volume, and now we have the new non-structured plan, it's volume driven, you only need 3 people personally sponsored that are just like you, and they don't even have to be on your front line as long as they're personally sponsored, to average somewhere between $8,000 to $10,000 a month. Can you get by on $8,000 to $10,000 a month? I sure hope so. So just know that, yes, you got to feel sad. You have to feel sad when people quit, because they are going to settle for a life of mediocrity. They will never live their dream. They will never complete whatever it was that they put on their bucket list. So, again, if you're new to the group, I want to do all the chatting in our Facebook group. And the truth is, I didn't know how to start another group. So it's the same group I've always had, facebook.com/groups/MMMFT, which stands for Mentoring with Millionaires Mastermind Fast Track. So we're going to stay in the same group. And if you chat in there, I'll get it. But if you're part of my Zango family, whether you're on our team or you're what I call kissing cousin, like cross line, the only way you can get into this group is if I make you my Facebook friend, and then I have to send you an invite, because that main page of mine, the Sandi.Cohen2, is actually my prospecting page. I have other pages for my Zango family, but in order for you to get to become a part of this group, I have to make you a friend. So either send me an email or send me a instant message. If you can't join that Facebook group, it's because we are not friends. So I have to add you. So that's easy to fix, okay? And I'm going to be continually finding what I think are gems for your growth. But remember this, doing what's in the assignments in what we're doing in our all-out massive action does not count as income-producing activities. Remember that. So all of this learning does not supersede your income-producing activities. And I think it was Bill said, you've all got jobs, so you got to make a decision. Where are you going to carve out your time for your freedom? Are you going to get up an hour earlier? Are you going to bed an hour later? Are you going to work on your lunch hour? Where are you going? Are you going to disconnect the TV? You've got to find that extra time so you can live the life you want to live 2, 3, 4 years from today. So remember, you've got to go for success. It isn't going to happen without you working. So with that, I want to again thank all of our co-hosts. And next week, we're going to do these every week. So remember that next week, we want you to contribute, even if it's for just 5 or 10 minutes. What are you getting that is helping you increase the numbers in your activity tracker? And start posting that activity tracker, or post screenshots of your calendar as well. So guess how we're going to end the call, guys? Anybody want to guess?
Yeah. And get professional coaching.
Okay, good night, everybody. Let's all have a millionaire mind and success. Good night.